What's up, everyone? All right, well, I am excited to report that I have completed trader rehab. I'm out, baby, and I feel good. So today was the day where I finally recovered the rest of the drawdown from 2 weeks ago when I took the second biggest loss that I've ever had in my entire career. $172,000 in the red. All right, so 2 weeks later, it's water under the bridge. So let's spend some time today talking about what trader rehab looked like and how I was able to recover these losses and how many days it took. In total, we're talking about 9 days. I mean, this is, it's not great to have one big loss, as you can see right here. It's unfortunate that one day took 9 days to recover from, but this is where we're at. And this is the reality of having a big loss. There are two ways that I could have approached it. I take the big loss and I do nothing. I could have come in the next day and said, I'm going big and I'm going to recover that loss. And it might not have been me actually saying out loud or saying to myself, I'm going to recover the loss, but it would have been me coming in trading with the same huge position sizes that resulted in that loss and just basically swinging really hard for anything that I saw that looked halfway decent. Now, if that loss was just a freak accident and not a sign of a greater shift in the overall market, that might have worked. I might have been able to come back on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday and had a couple home run days. And who knows, maybe I could have made $50,000 a day and been back to whole by the end of the week. Maybe. But what if it went the other way? If it went the other way, I'd take a 50,000 share position and I lose 2 points. I'm down another 100 grand. Now I'm down $272,000. And do I keep trading or do I stop on that day? Let's say I stop. Then I come in the next day and I do it again, lose another 100 grand. I mean, how many days in a row are we going to do this before it's just getting ridiculous, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, really, the sky's the limit. You stop when you're ready. You could keep losing as much as you want. The market's not going to stop you. So the second decision and the second option here at that fork in the road was to say, no, I cannot keep losing. And so the way I kind of look at it, and I'm going to get the whiteboard out here. I got it back here. So the way I sort of look at it is when I have a big loss like this, I was making nice progress, and then in one day, gave back a bunch, minus 172. I knew that I could not allow myself to continue to lose more money because in those moments when I had that really big loss, I was feeling so angry. I was furious. I was frustrated. I was ashamed. And the thing is, on day 2, which ended up being day 1 of rehab, the day after the big loss, I said, I'm going to just bring everything down because if I have another big loss, all of the emotions from yesterday are going to come flooding back. But on day 2, when I sat down and I recorded day 1 of trader rehab, I was actually feeling really good. I was feeling really positive. I felt like, that was day 1 of my new hot streak. What happened yesterday is behind me. It's already just out of sight, out of mind. That was yesterday, and today's my chance to get back on the horse. For me, even throughout my entire career, anytime I've had a really big red day, I've looked at it kind of as the glass is half full. Yes, I did just take a big loss, but you know what? If I'd been on the other side of that trade, I could have made that much money, which is inspiring. That's the opportunity of how much money can be made in the market. Now, doesn't mean I should just do the opposite of everything I did yesterday and make that back. I shouldn't. What I should do is I should look at my metrics. And what my metrics tell me is that when I keep my head down and I focus on my core strategy and the market's hot, I do really well. When the market's cooler, well, I don't make as much, but I still make money. We're talking about over $6 million of profit on the year. This is just $3 million in the last 90 days. So, this is incredible. So all I need to do is reset to kind of my last save point. Just reset. And when I thought about it like that, I realized that loss of $172,000, I've already made that money back. It's in the market. I just have to get it. I just have to show up every day for the next 10 days and it's coming back. How do I know that? Well, think about a business. Think about how they have accounts payable and accounts receivable. So in this instance, I have more or less accounts receivable. I have a strategy. It is proven. It is profitable. And it's just going to take time for me to earn that profit. It's already coming as long as I have the discipline to follow the rules. Now, if you're a beginner trader and you didn't have an established track record, this doesn't work. In which case you should go back to the sim. And Trader Rehab is more of like, go back to the sim and reset, put the real money account on hold for a while, a few months. While you trade in the sim, you build some metrics, you build some consistency. But for me, and for all of you out there that have a strategy that generally works, with the exception of these, just black swan events, you can reset. And so that's what I did. But it's about resetting up here mentally. That's the biggest struggle. And let's be real, that loss that I had, this was not a failure of the strategy. This is a failure of the discretionary trader who is trading the strategy. That's me. I made a mistake. I took too much risk on one trade and it cost me big. Now you could say, well, Ross, why don't you just automate your strategy? People have been trying to create automated trading systems since the beginning of computers were involved in the market. And there are the best PhDs from MIT who work at Citadel and all these other big firms trying to program these algos all day long. It would be naive to think that I could compete against them with retail equipment, retail software, retail data. It's just not going to happen. Discretionary trading is what retail traders do. You have to press the buy button. You have to press the sell button. That means you have to have the discipline to follow your rules. So what does Trader Rehab look like for me? Because I know the risk of going red again on a second day is not, it's far more than just the dollar amount that I would lose. It's the emotional loss. It's the feeling of devastation. And guys, I showed you, we'll pull it up. I had a 5-day red streak, I think it was 2 years ago. And it was devastating. I mean, I can't tell you how low I felt at the end of this 5-day red streak. And this was the beginning of the year. It was only February. It was humiliating. It was like, what are we doing here? This is crazy. Now, granted, the total loss was not as big. The total dollar loss, I mean, it's less than I might make in one, good day here today. But at the time, it felt big and the emotions were really high. And it was embarrassing to come up and do Red Day Recap 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And so I had to press the reset button. And I did. I had a couple days of sort of clearing the slate, recovering, and then finally things started to pick up. We got a really nice move. And I ended up finishing the month, relatively respectably at $54,000, and I had recovered the loss. I'm not at $54,000 here for the month of October. So what we have just done today is I have recovered the balance of the drawdown. We're going to go just last 30 days here, and I'm going to show you my win-loss expectation. So this was the drawdown right here, and it took, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and today's the 9th day that pushes me to green after this drawdown. So the way I approached it was by focusing on trading the highest quality setups, for 9 days. So let's look at the metrics. Let's actually check what my metrics have been since that big loss. So that loss was on Tuesday the 14th. So we're going to look at the 15th through yesterday. So this doesn't include today. So we've got, was it 2 weeks? Oh, yikes. Yeah, 2 weeks. So from the 8th through today. So during this period, accuracy has been 78%. Average winners, $4,700. Average losers, $694. Biggest loss, $3,000. Biggest winner, $40,000. I mean, let's talk about metrics. These are phenomenal metrics. And I'm not just patting myself on the back to say that. It's going to sound that way, but these are really good metrics. Let's just look, for the sake of argument, at the 10 days that preceded the drawdown. So the 10 days that preceded the drawdown, not including the drawdown, because that's going to screw up the metrics. So preceding the drawdown, my accuracy was, it was actually 81%. My profit loss ratio, though, was different. $3,700 winners and nearly $2,000 losers. So I was being more aggressive. High accuracy, but was obviously still producing some decent profit. That all came to a stop when I just had that, one really big loss. And you can see, the drawdown, the average losers was bigger. So I feel good that during Trader Rehab, I kept my average losers in check. That's a really big deal for me, because ultimately, when I came in there on day one of Trader Rehab, I came in saying, I'm going to lose today. And just as a side note, we had a member in the chat room earlier today that posted their P&L of the last maybe 30 days, and it was all green. Every day's been green. They've been trading the simulator. And he said, wish me luck. I'm going live this week. And I said, good luck. But let's just, for the sake of argument, not to be pessimistic, but let's just assume that your first day is going to be red. Luck of the draw. That's just like the way I sometimes feel about things. Like, it's my luck. Of course, it's going to be a red day. First day, first day of the small account challenge, red day, whatever. So let's just assume it's going to be a red day. And let me ask you, how much are you comfortable losing today? Really, how much are you comfortable losing? Because he's been trading with 1,000 shares in the sim. So I say, you lose with 1,000 shares, you could be down maybe $300, $400, $500. I don't know if you're going to feel that great day one. So maybe day one, day two, assume it's going to be red. Say, I'm comfortable losing $25. I don't want to lose too much confidence. So then you only trade with 100 shares, maybe 200. Okay, so you don't make a lot of money on day one, day two, day three. The first week, you don't make a lot of money. It's not about making a lot of money. It's about continuing to build that positive mindset, because it's all about up here. So when I came in day one of Trader Rehab, I said, I'm comfortable losing tomorrow or today. And I can't remember how much I said I was comfortable losing. I said I think it was $7,500. I was like, I'm comfortable losing $7,500. So, that's how much I'm willing to risk. And if it's a red day and I lose that much, it's fine. And so I said, all right, assuming that, I'm going to sit and I'm going to focus on the highest quality setups. And if I don't see anything that looks good, I won't take any trades. And so the result was that my accuracy was statistically higher. It was about 10% higher than the average year to date. So the year to date average is going to be probably 70, 71, 72%. So it was higher than the year to date average. And the profit loss ratio, the average winners were 50% bigger, and the average losers were 70% smaller. Wow. Now, I took fewer trades on average. And you might say, Ross, just keep up what you've been doing. Keep up these metrics for like the rest of the year. But I did take fewer trades, and I made, a little bit less money, only 47 trades. So there's kind of this chart that we could draw, which compares the total, let's see, we're going to do total profit here with number of trades. So, and there's another, see, the thing is, this is tricky because up here, you're going to have, sorry, this isn't like the best pen. I'll just do here. So if I did, let's just say I did only, this is going to be A quality setups. A quality setups is going to be here. And, we're basically going to go up here, but then we get to a point of maybe diminishing returns, of over trading, perhaps. Although I suppose if we really were focused on A quality trades, maybe we do money down here, and then we do quality. No, because it's not going to work. No, we'll keep it this way. So the quality is the factor, so number of trades. But so then let's say I do, B quality trades. So B quality trades, presumably I make a little bit less, but then the drop off is sooner. And then you start doing C quality trades, and you might not make as much, and the drop off is very early. So it's like, where's the sweet spot where I trade the max number of A quality setups, and then I trade some B quality setups, right? And I maybe even trade a few C quality setups here and there. So I'm going to introduce more total trades, even though my accuracy up here might be 80%, my accuracy here is 70%, and my accuracy here is 60%. And the profit loss ratios may suffer as well. So you could make some money trading C quality setups, only C quality. And so it's like, if you only trade A, you're eliminating the profit you would have made from these right here. So if I looked year to date, so I'm at 6 million year to date, maybe 3 million is from A quality setups, maybe just 2 million is from B quality setups, and maybe 1 million is from C quality setups. Well, during the course of Trader Rehab, I didn't trade B or C quality setups. I was only trading A quality setups. So yes, my metrics look better, but I was limited in how much I could make because there were only so many trades that were A quality, and I can only take so much size on each trade. So ultimately, now that I've completed trader rehab, I can start branching out a little bit more. And some might think that's counterintuitive. Oh, you finally recovered from trader rehab and now you get to go trade low quality setups again. Well, I've got to be careful about that, right? I've got to be careful how much I'm willing to introduce. So today, for instance, let's look at my P&L for this morning. So as I sit here right now, I'm sitting at $11,103.54. It's kind of interesting because if we look at my P&L for Monday and Tuesday, Tuesday I was at 11,195, and Monday I was at $11,013. So all of my P&Ls this week have been within $200 of each other. It's kind of funny. But today I traded SHMD, FLWS, which is a little outside my wheelhouse, and BNBX. So let's talk about these stocks. Okay, so when I first sat down this morning, I knew that I was nearly recovered from my drawdown. It's not like I'm flipping the switch and just immediately taking more risk. I've been taking increasingly a little bit more risk on my trades in the last week, as I knew that I was very close to, a full recovery from the drawdown. So, increasing risk a little bit. But when I first sat down this morning, we had BYND, Beyond Meat, which is given a pretty big short squeeze from 50 cents a share a few days ago, all the way up to nearly $9 today. Has a pretty high level of short interest. There's a tool that I use. I really only end up using it a few times a year, but it's called Ortex. And they give you a pretty updated short interest for equities. And so I started using this during the GameStop era. So it's showing the short interest as a percentage of free float is 81% right now, which is very, very high. This says the number of shares that are short, the shares on loan, the cost to borrow, the utilization, and then the short score. The utilization being a little low means that there's more shares available to borrow, which can drive the price down. So this one was one, FLWS is the other, 1-800-Flowers. The short interest on this one, as of Wednesday, 112% of free float. Now that's really high, has a higher short score. And then we also had DNUT, which is Krispy Kreme. And this one, short interest is about 30%, short score is 70 as well. So why am I talking about these? Well, even though it's not my typical strategy to trade meme stocks, there are times where I have to acknowledge the theme in the market, and I can choose not to participate in that theme and just not trade, or I can join in. And so I decided during the GameStop short squeeze to join in and trade GameStop, and that was definitely a good decision. And I decided to join in a little bit on this today. Now, I didn't trade BYND because by the time I was sitting down at 7 a.m., it already felt a bit too risky. So it ended up selling off, and there was really nothing to trade on that. But FLWS did give me a trade. And once I saw how high the short interest was, I was watching on the 1-minute chart for 1-minute micro pullbacks. And so the 1-minute micro pullback is one of my favorite strategies, of course. You got a nice one there, 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 and there. And so this is where I traded it for a total profit of only $2,000. Didn't end up really being a big winner, but I was green on it. So this stock, FLWS, there we go. You'll notice that it is easy to borrow. It's actually now down 7% on the day, as these meme stocks, as you know, can be very volatile. It's easy to borrow, but it's also on short sale restriction. BYND is not easy to borrow. It's only up 4% now. It's coming back down. DNUT, easy to borrow, currently up 10%. So when these are easy to borrow, it means the clearing firms are very comfortable letting people short them, and they don't think that there's a lot of upside potential. They can be wrong, of course, but nonetheless, I did get a trade on that one. My first trade of the day today was actually SHMD. It was a loss of $3,000. So just like yesterday, I started the day by going in the red, which is a real bummer. This stock hit our scanners, and it did have news early this morning. And so as it popped up, I was watching for a pullback. Now, it ended up popping right here, pulling back, squeezing up, and then pulling back here. No trades, no trades, no trades. And then it squeezes up here, and I bought this little dip right here under 650. It goes up to 670, and then it dips down. So I'm green, and then I'm red. I don't take any profit. Then it comes back up, and I sell half for a small loss. Then it dips back down, comes back up, and I'm still waiting for the first 1-minute candle to make a new high. Then it dips down even further. I end up adding off of the volume weighted average price. I only had half position left, so I added back the other half. It pops back up, and I ended up selling right after this candle rejected right here, and I got out the rest of it for a $3,000 loss. So that was kind of a bummer. That's not the way I wanted to start the day. It's never fun to start with a loser. The stock, despite news, is now down on the day. The next stock that hit the scanner was BNBX. BNBX hits the scan. It's up 50% on the day right now, and I see it's got a $58 million private placement. That's what I see, private placement. I pull up the level 2, I pull up the chart, and I'm ready to jump in. Now, this ended up giving us some really impressive micro pullbacks. In fact, I wonder if some of you guys did really well on this one, because this is it doesn't get better than that. That dip at $6, amazing. Goes from 6 to 8. That's $2 a share. So could I have bought, 100,000 shares of it, made 200 grand? I don't really think so. The volume was light. There were some sellers, so maybe, but in any case, so I took a position on this right down here. We got this squeeze up, and then it dips down, and I bought the dip, looking for the breakthrough 8. It fails to break 8. I take profit. It dips back down. I did another dip. It comes back up. I sell. Dips down. I buy the dip. I take some profit. I buy the dip, and I take some profit. And then this one, I got a little profit above this level, and then sold the rest down here. And that was it. I didn't take any more trades on it. Ended up coming all the way back down. And then at the open, it sort of pops back up here, as you can see, and then it dips down again. So kind of interesting. Nonetheless, I'm grateful to be green on it. It's still holding up, relatively well in this area, and I don't want to overstay my welcome. So I'm not taking any more trades on that. I'm not sure if we're going to have something today. We didn't have something that was really strong at the open the way we did yesterday on Nerve. This is what gave me my profit yesterday, this nice move on Nerve. But then look at this rejection right here. Right, you ended up getting that big rejection. And we actually just got the news. So let's see, Nerve. So what we were worried about on Nerve was the possibility of an offering. So I was looking at this and I saw that they had, they had a shelf registration. Where was it? Maybe it was on the SEC filings I saw. But nonetheless, I saw they had a shelf registration. So it made me wonder if they were selling shares yesterday up in this level. I don't know. We'll see. It's hard to say, but that was a pretty dramatic rejection off of 12 right there. That was pretty bad. So, and then what did we have? We had another one on Monday, or was it Tuesday, that kept rejecting? And that one also had a shelf registration, and we saw that they did do an offering. Now I can't remember that ticker off the top of my head. But nonetheless, so I'm finishing the day here in the green, which is great. And those of you guys who have been tuned in for the last 2 weeks, perhaps doing a 2-week trial here at Warrior Trading, you've been able to watch me during this recovery phase. I've maintained high accuracy. I've been focused on high quality setups. And generally, I'm going to keep that focus. It's coming towards the end of the month. So now I just want to try to finish the month in good shape. And then once we go into November, I'll be starting a new small account challenge. And so I'll have that to focus on. And so anyways, there's a lot that's exciting about the future. And I'm just glad that I'm now back to whole on the drawdown, and Trader Rehab is complete. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you haven't already checked out that 2-week trial, there's a link in the description you can join, and I'll put links to a couple other episodes that you can watch right here. All right, so with that, I'll see you first thing tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.